Hey everybody, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us today. We're going live, talking about U.S. immigration pop-up. We do these regularly on Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, where we just take your questions live. But I also like to do these pop-ups where we just take your questions here on all these different platforms. General education only, not intended for individual legal guidance. But hey, we answer your questions by U.S. immigration. Hopefully, we won't have too many questions asking about how long things take in timelines. As you all know, who are regulars, that's not my favorite question. Here, I'm about to post on Twitter too, because we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Facebook's iffy, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok, for some reason, I look orange on it. I'm looking like Donald Trump or something. But on it says for X, a premium account is required in order to stream on the platform. You can subscribe here. Okay, remove it. We don't need to do. I don't really get that much people on X anyways, or Twitter, formerly Twitter. So let's go. Just take your questions, post your questions here live on these different platforms. I don't know how to fix my coloring on TikTok. I'm not sure why I look orange, but hey, that may get people more interested in watching. Why not? Is there something we could do about that? Let's see. I can't figure it out. All right, so everyone who's on TikTok, that's not my real color, but hey, it is what it is. So as the questions stream in, I think the big stuff you want to talk about is parole in place, which is if you're in the U.S. for the last 2 years. Attorney, I can't hear you. Simply mirrors. Anyone else can't hear me? I'm not sure why that's not working. My mic seems to be connected. It says working. Good evening to Simply Marielle. Let me know if it starts working now. There's just lag time, these different technologies, but it should be all working. No, it's with comments. TikTok, who are joining Immigration Live, taking your questions. Parole in place. We don't have the details yet. This is for people who entered without permission, essentially, and 10 years lived here, and they're married to a U.S. citizen. They may be able to avoid doing a waiver and just do parole in place. Melissa asks, "Hi, I filed my I-485 going to I-451. I think you mean the I-751 removal of conditions. It's going 2 years. Have not received any response yet. Is that normal? There's no normal in immigration now." 2 years for an I-751 pending is what they expected to do. That's fine, but I don't know if you submitted to the right place and the right documents. They may have responded to you, and then you missed the notice, so that your case should have been done a year ago, but you didn't send the response, and now it's denied. I doubt that happened, but that's why, in one sense, it is normal. 2 years for removal of conditions for I-751 is normal. On the flip side of it, because I haven't reviewed your, and this is why this is all individual legal guidance, not individual legal guidance, because maybe in your case you did something differently. Mostly you didn't, but I just got to couch whatever I say here in the idea that there's different situations that pop up. Now we're not getting questions on some platforms, so we usually get some questions by now. But hey, we got TikTok always, so let's go. 876 home. USCIS sends my mail, but they didn't deliver because I need to activate my mail forward request. I don't know if they accept mail forwarding for USCIS. Melissa says I meant adjustment status. Adjustment status for I-485, 2 years. It depends on what kind of adjustment status you have. What the basis of it is. For example, if you're married to a green card holder and you file for adjustment status on that, then that's going to take longer than 2 years. Also, you could have the same situation I spoke about where you have delay in your case. You have responded to you and you don't have the notice or something. Just Me says, "Hi, we've been waiting for over 1 month for our embassy interview letter from London. Normally normal for CR1. Embassy interviews, 1 month is actually it's like 2 seconds in immigration time. For London, several months could be a normal, if you will." 1.5 asks, "I'm a U.S. citizen. How many years do I need to be in a relationship to be able to file a K-1 visa?" 0. Technically, you could just meet someone and get engaged and file immediately. Now, it's going to have more, hesitancy about that. But, fiancé visa, the point is for them to come here, get to know you. So you might meet somebody and people get engaged. I met my wife essentially immediately. I knew I was going to get married. I just wanted to get my house in order before we did. So before that happened to me, actually, I would have thought people were crazy when they said I met someone when I get married. But, I can't remember when we got married. It's been 10 years that we've been together. She wouldn't like to hear that, but men are not good at how long things are a lot of times in dates. Okay, so it's not a bad thing. It's more other stuff that you got to prep for a K-1 visa. Have you seen each other once the last 2 years? And then also affidavit support. How is that going to look in the future? How do you document your relationship history? All that kind of stuff. Michael says, "Hi, I'm English, married to an American man, 2 years. I overstayed my ESTA." Well, if you're married to a U.S. citizen, the overstaying the ESTA is not a problem on itself. We got to see how the rest is. Michael, schedule a consult. Email me at info@jklaw.com. You better go to our website, JQKlaw. Actually, stop that. Michael and Mark, download our guide first. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. It really breaks down the process. and then schedule a time, because I want you to know how it is and what's going on. So you can make a good decision about what's going on, who's knows what they're talking about when it comes to immigration process. So if y'all doing a marriage case, the fiance case, download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Then schedule a time to talk with us. And if you're in a rush, you can do it ahead of time. But I like people to read that guide. It helps out a lot. It's 40 plus pages with a lot of info to help you. And then we could get the details of things after that. Mira says, if you get married and file for a green card, you able to travel while you wait? No, you gotta. Well, you can, but you got to get permission to travel. It's called advanced parole. They start charging for, unfortunately, 600 and some bucks. But once that's approved, be it. Michael says, will I be able to go back to America? Well, Michael, if you left after ESTA violation, it depends on how long you overstayed. But if you stayed, it's fine. If you left, but you overstayed too long, you may be subject to a 3 or 10-year ban, which will need a waiver. It's doable, but it's a lot of work and a lot of headache for you. But unless you got major problems like criminal history or fraud or something like that. I mean, fraud could be more of one, but criminal history really then is doable. It's going to take longer. But Mike, we definitely need a consultation because you need to break down what happened in your immigration history. So download the guide, then afterwards email us. And when you download the guide, you'll get an email from us. So that way you'll know what email is. Just reply and we schedule a time. Cynthia, do you think parole in place of Biden said will actually happen? Probably. It's just we got to see how it's actually going to look like. Gustavo asks, what any news on the Parole in Place? So Parole in Place is this program that I talked about at the start of the show. It's supposed to come into play end of summer. And the thing is, they got to promulgate, they got to write out each of the requirements for it and how it works. And under the Code of Federal, they released this breakdown of what it is. It could be 50 pages or something like that probably. And so I got to sit and read that and haven't published. They got to sit and write that first. And then I got to sit and read it once it comes out. And then that way I could tell you what's up with this. So I think it's going to happen. Very likely. I don't see why it wouldn't. But there'll probably be lawsuits, but I think it'll still go ahead because they've had this parole ability forever. So I mean, the same ability that gives Trump the right to ban people is the same authority pretty much that gives the right to do parole. But we got to see how it's going to look like and how. For marriage cases, we kind of know, but it's for these employment-based cases that he said that there's no real guidance on it. Burns says green card holder spouse I-130 approved 2010, enter tourist visa, currently DACA holder. That's gonna be problematic if you're a spouse of a green card holder. You can't fix it. So Berenice, you got to see if your spouse could be a U.S. citizen or not. That's what you need to fix it. So hit us up, download our guide first, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, then schedule a consult. We'll do it. Jasmine says, thank you. You're welcome. Well, thank you. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Very good. The TikTok's been, it's been only a few minutes, but our TikTok audience has been really good today. Let's see. Any other questions going on the other platforms? So many platforms, so many questions. Okay. Rhea says, do you think Trump winning will improve overall USCIS process timelines? Nope. I don't think him losing or winning will do it. I think it's just going to get worse. They got more money for USCIS, so that should make things faster. But USCIS is not the worst. Really, the bad part is consular processing. That's what's really bad. The embassy system, Department of State. And it says, can I use CBX with advanced parole? I'm not sure what CBX is. Pookie asks, what happens if I apply for my green card marriage base and we don't have a lease with both our names? That's fine. I mean, just have other documents. Hopefully you're living together, though. Khan says, applied for I-130 overseas. Processing times show 3 months. Is it true? No. No. That's not true. Who knows the processing times are? 5 months. Not going to happen. Sandy said, does the article only apply to U.S. or any countries? Does that article? I'm not sure which article you're talking about. Cosmina says, how can I bring my niece 18 to the U.S.? I'm a citizen for 6 years now. I mean, there's nothing you can really do to bring him here unless, your niece from Venezuela or Ukraine or something like that. I have to see if there's an exception, but generally there's no real easy way to do that at all. Towing says, can your employer ask for your green card even though you show them your EAD? Well, your EAD has a timeline on it. It expires. I don't really know the details of all I-9 verifications, the requirements for employers and what documents they have. If the EAD is expired, they may need to have a green card. It may make sense, but I'm not a specialist and that's not something we handle typically. Simple Maria says, sir, question. I already filed my I-751 after I received the 48-month extension. Sadly, I'm moving out, but I already updated my new address. Until now, I don't have there's a lot going on there. I don't know what's going on simply. That's too detailed in your case. I can't really get into that. Sid says, can I change job after getting EB-1A approval before filing I-485? So the EB-1A is self-petition. So there's no requirement you stay with the employer at all because it's really based on your background. Sid, congrats, you're an EB-1A. That's high level, accomplishment. Yeah, EB-1A is extraordinary ability visa. which says you're one of the top people in your field, and you can self-petition. So you don't even have to have an employer. Just show like your success in the past, and based on that you're going to continue in the future. And so there's no requirement that you even be employed. You yourself, we can do whatever you want. So yeah, you don't need to do that. There's none of those requirements. Berenice follows up, green. We already answered that. SSG as military, what's the right process? I-130 and I-45, or wait for response to I-130? It depends on what you're doing, SSG. But if you're military, we do free consultations and chats with active duty military personnel, their families or spouses, really. Send me an email at info@jqqlaw.com. Send proof you're in the military too, so other people won't just bombard me with this. And if I see it, I'll send you a link to schedule a private time to chat with what you're doing, so I know more details. Essentially, if you're a U.S. citizen, there's no point in waiting to file the I-45. You do it concurrently all together. If this is a marriage case, I'm not sure if you're doing a marriage case, but if you're a green card holder and you haven't got citizenship yet, there's a delay in filing the I-45, but we got to look into your spouse's background to see what the situation is there. Sharon says, I'm I-130 waiting for interview since March 27, 2024. How long I-130 approval to interview? I mean, that's nothing. March 27, that's like 2 months ago. So it's like, I can't see how long it's going to be, but how long it's happening is only like 2 seconds have passed by essentially for immigration timelines. Nola mom. Oh, by the way, if y'all want to make sure your questions get answered some way, follow us on YouTube and ask questions there, because it's easier to keep track of things. TikTok is very difficult to keep track of questions. Our YouTube page is either U.S. Immigration Talk or JQK Law. You search those, you'll find me there. For example, Yogita says, I'm an international student of the bachelor's in nursing with honors. That's good. I'm an Indian citizen. EB3 is harder to get because of the backlog. What other visa can I apply for? I'm currently on OPT for a year. Well, that's a generalized question, but marriage could be one thing if you're getting married. EB1A, extraordinary ability, which I talked about, is less of a backlog for Indians, but there's a backlog there too. EB2, national interest waiver. And nurses are actually, I think they're EB2 because if you have like licensing, because some things, I don't do nurse visas, frankly, so I don't know the details of that, but I mean, it's just a general option. Every person in the world has, Yogita. So I don't like going over like massively general kind of stuff and not too detailed kind of stuff. Somewhere in the sweet spots middle what the show is about. No one says, can you come back to U.S. after voluntary departure? It's not impossible, but you need to have a proper visa and not be some sort of ban on you. Gustav says summer, so before August is over. They just said summer. I don't know what to tell you. They weren't very specific. Probably so. Amir says, after labor certification's approval, when should I apply travel doc on safe side and see my mom? So labor certificate approval is way down. I'm not sure what kind. Amir is there's like more steps that are needed for that to happen for travel docs and stuff. So I don't schedule private consultation to see what's going on in your case, but it's not something I can just say this. That seems like you're way off on your thing, but maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Bobby says, how will Trump admin change policy EB3? Any concerns? I don't know. I haven't read his mind or his staff's mind. I can't really answer that question. Let's go to Instagram really quick. If you had a question, it's there. Okay. So Klaus says, filed for my spouse in April. How long does it take for the case to be approved? I-130 standalone. 12 months. I usually say 12 months for those cases. If you're a U.S. citizen. If you're a green card holder, 2 years for the I-130 approval. Comment says, I-130 is tracking 3 years now. Thanks, Sid May, for all these things you're giving me. I'm not sure what they are. I'm not, but thank you. My I-130 is tracking 3 years now. Is that a problem? I don't know what kind of I-130 you have. Felice says, what is Rapid Visa? Rapid Visa is one of these companies that, like, for cheap will try to help you with your cases. I don't know how good or bad they are, but I'd recommend getting a good lawyer, especially our firm. Naya says, hi, what is the fastest I-130 approval you have seen? 2 weeks. Amir says, after labor certification approval, when should I already answer that question? Nur Sawa says, how is it going to take to invite a husband from Afghanistan? What should be the income? The income depends on your family size, but if you're solo, it's 30,000. How long is it going to take? Forever, probably at least 2 years, if not longer. Pardeep, how long is I-212 waiver process timelines? 6 months, 2 years, longer, who knows? Sid May, you're welcome. Tom, can I get married to a U.S. citizen and change my status after I come here illegally? It depends. Like the whole parole special program, Biden is spinning out the parole program. The idea is that if you did that, you've been here for 10 years plus, and you married before June, then it's fine. You could probably do that too, but you're going to probably need a waiver unless you have some sort of exception like parole or something like that. But it really depends on your case. So download our guide first, Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. The website is marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and then schedule a consultation so we see what's going on in your particular case. Yerusalem says, does USCIS background check involve DMV records? We don't know their background checks, but you can assume it does. Baby Ronaldin says, can my husband file for adjustment of status when in the U.S. but has a pending I-130 through consular processing? It's not impossible. We do that all the time, but we need to know more information about your husband, his background, so they don't accuse him of fraud or misrep, and he satisfies the adjustment of status requirements under INA 245. So it's not impossible. We do that kind of stuff regularly, but I can't say if your husband could do it because I need to talk with him, see what's going on. Michael says, overstayed my ESTA, married to American. When can I go back to America? It depends on how long you overstayed, Michael. If you overstayed like a year and you left, after you left, there's a 10-year ban on reentry. So you got to get a waiver for that. And that waiver, it's taking like 4 years right now to get, in addition to the I-130 timeline, all that kind of stuff. And then you got to do the embassy. So it's depending on what it is, it could be like 5 or 6 years. It could be shorter, it could be longer. Strawberry says, how long will it take for citizen to bring underage child? Depends on what country they're from, but it could easily be a year and a half at least. Umaya says, when transferred to a different country and you've been DQ'd, do you get a new DQ or keep it? I was never clear, but recently we had some people, I had 2 or 3 cases where that happened, and the DQ time remained the same. So that was interesting. Neve says, for first time, I'm live on the show. Good to see you. Just admitted to the US EB-1A consular processing. Oh, nice. Congrats. 1.5 years. 1.5 years from including the I-140. You have premium processing for your case. The I-140 probably happened quick. What country, Niv? Congratulations. What country are you coming? A year and a half? Not bad. My original, sorry, if people follow the questions, I kind of lose track. There's so many people. Your show helped a lot. Wow, thank you, Niv, so much. Niv Raz, if you could, go Google, type in our name, JQK Law, and just put 5 stars in the review part on the right side for Google. You don't even have to write why you did that, but it'll be appreciated. Sid as well, everybody. It helps the firm to let people know we do good work and help people. So you don't have to, again, write anything. Just go to Google, JQK Law, and the Google My Business profile that pops on the right. Just put 5 stars. It helps out a lot. But thank you, Neva. Really do our best to help. And the point is, like, it's a lawyer's job is more than just, collecting money and helping people. There's a big portion of our job is we're part of the community. There's a requirement that we participate in different ways. And thankfully, with the technology that exists now, it's so much easier to do it. Because, like, for example, when I started my law firm 10 years ago, I used to go to a church that was down the street and sit there every Wednesday for 3 hours waiting for people to come in. And it took 6 months for people to even know we're there. And then we get 2 people. Eventually, we got a lot of people, but then it was a lot of cases that I don't know how to do because, like, immigration court or deportation, which I have no idea. I don't do them. I know how to do them, but I don't do them. It's not my specialty. I help married couples primarily. And some other nuance of citizenship, I-751, dealing with embassies. That's my specialty. But if you're dealing with the embassy, a lot of time you're not here, so you wouldn't even come. So that I wasted hundreds of hours just sitting there and not really helping much. But then all of a sudden, this technology came and we get out there and help people. And it's part of, what my requirement as a human being is to get help. And it's when you see it works, it's, praise God that it works. Thank you, Neve. Thank you, Sid. Okay. So Theo says, I-485 processing time changed from 5 to 6 months. Is that normal? Any processing time you see on the government's website is completely unreliable. So there is no normal. It depends on your case and luck. Mohammed says, what's next after I-130 is approved? Well, if you're doing consular processing, you guys do that. Or if adjustment of status was needed, that you guys see if your case is current. So it opens up to a lot of things depending on what kind of case you had. Okay, let's go. So Yellow Moon, what is I-618 processing times after biometrics in November 2023? The 618 even need biometrics? I don't know. So right now they're taking anywhere from 2 to 5 years, unfortunately. Hayao says, hello, filed M400 in February, no biometrics. What's wait time? 2 months, 2 years. Brian says, can I apply for citizenship if my I-751 is being processed? Yeah, if you satisfy the requirements, you've been married, living with a U.S. citizen, yeah. We do that all the time. Schedule a consult, jqklaw.com/contact. Peace and Places. Is there anything for asylum seekers for 9 years? Is there anything for asylum seeker from 9 years? I don't know. You're probably saying, why is it taking so long? It's just the government's backed up. Plus, we don't do asylum. User 69 says, I have a daughter back in Bangladesh. I never married. Which form do I need to apply for? I'm a citizen. Well, that's complicated. First, you got to show as you develop a relationship with her. You're listed as the parent on the birth certificate. If not, it's troublesome. Even if you are listed as a parent, you need to have to take a relationship and need proof of that. But potentially it's going to be a U.S. citizen child case, I-130, but we got to see what the whole picture looks like in that situation and how that would happen. Jerusalem says, we answered that. A lot of repeat questions I'm trying to sift through. Danny, how long does it take to get my green card after requested for print? I don't know. You're probably talking about an I-90. That could be 2 months, could be 3 years. Sai says, my fiance's visa got approved. Congrats. How many days does it typically take to issue the visa? 1 to 30 days. Blue Moon, how long? Oh, we answered that. S says, I have sent my sister's birth certificate to my brother's RFE mistakenly. Then I sent his own. Yeah. Mistakes like that could be very troublesome. Call USCIS immediately. Let them know to get your local congressperson involved. Maybe contact the. There's just a lot of things you got to do to try to avoid a massive failure on that one, because that case is going to take. It's a horrible situation to happen when you send a mistaken document like that. Hopefully, it doesn't mess it up. Hopefully, they'll be nicely accepted. Blue Moon answered. Danny said, "How long does it take?" That we answered that. All right, so just a heads up for all those asking how long things take. I'm not going to answer questions about timelines. So to give you a heads up, if you're asking about timelines, I'm just going to skip your question. If you keep asking the same one over again, I'll have to mute you because it's just filling up the time for actual questions. There's no timelines in immigration, essentially. Got a green card through asylum. What if a situation happens in home country? Can you visit? In practice, they don't hassle people. I've never seen them hassle if you got asylum and you visit your home country. I can't recommend doing it, but in practice, never say anything, but you could be the first. Omar says, when transferred to a different country, do they keep your original DQ? I answer that. I got repeats. Please stop asking repeat questions. Everything's been answered. How long? Nope. How long? Nope. How long? Nope. If my wife and I-130 isn't accepted, what would happen? I don't know. Why would it not be accepted? It depends. If they accuse you of marriage fraud, that's one thing. If they lost the case, is one thing. I'm not sure what's going on, so I can't ask generalized questions that general. All right, so we're going to start muting people. We're getting too many repeat questions. Sam says, how can TPS help me to amend my legal status in the U.S.? Know that I entered America through Southern Border in 2023. I married an American woman in September. If you enter without status, potentially you can use TPS to help stuff. I need to talk with you in private about how the programs work, but potentially I could fix lawful entry based on TPS, but we got to see what's going on. So Sam, download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, but you need a lawyer help. So schedule a consultation go to jqklaw.com/contact and fill out the form. We'll contact you about it. Explorer says, can we do adjustment of status after MVCs haven't paid applicant in the U.S.? It's not impossible. We do that. I'm not sure if you could do that because I don't know your case, but that is possible. Sam says, return to it so that my status becomes legal. Note that I'm Syrian nationality. Sam, we got to see. Can we wait for TPS to be filed? It proves I can leave U.S. American term. Most we got to see, Sam, what's going on. I can't get into too much detail back here. Let me check out Instagram. See questions there. Yeah, we got some. Okay. So Zubar says I-751 pending 30 months. What do you recommend? Just wait. That's normal. Omi says, hi, dear. I want to ask about USA visa. I live in Dubai. I didn't go back to Iran for more than 2 years. I wanted to ask if I got offered from Los Angeles. Do you think it'd be accepted? The way immigration is way more complicated than that, unfortunately. So that it's not that easy to say, "Oh, I got a job." It's a million hoops you have to jump through. Does it make sense to answer? It's okay. So, yeah, it's just too complicated to answer that question. Fari says, "Is fiance case faster than marriage case?" I don't think so, but it depends on what you mean by faster. And so, a fiance visa potentially maybe the fiance enters the United States a couple months faster, but then they have to wait much longer to get the green card. But if you're married, it might take a couple months later to get into the United States. So it's faster. Fiance visa is faster to get inside the United States, potentially, maybe, not always. I see it the other way. But then it's longer to get the green card. So pick your poison. What's more important? And it costs more money to do a fiance visa. Belize says, my husband is a green card holder and has filed for me. Can he come back home while we wait? You can't. A green card holder has to be living in the United States, so you don't want to be outside for too long. So he's going to have to come and go and potentially get a reentry permit if he wants to stay longer. So it's not impossible, but it's a game back and forth, unfortunately, the way they designed it. Blueberry says, my husband got an unlawful presence waiver approved. What's the next step with the Biden new law? Well, if you got the waiver approved, you got to wait for an embassy appointment. But Biden's new law kind of makes the waiver unnecessary if you're a U.S. citizen. So it's like, do you want to wait maybe to see what happens with Biden stuff, just stay in the United States and do adjustment status? Or if you get embassy appointment scheduled, go and come back. Typically, I don't like sending people out to the embassy because it's just like you're out, it's risky, you might not come back in. So you're probably better to wait, even though it's paid so much money and time to get the 618 approved. Sure, ICE gave me parole in custody. Can I adjust my status here? That's a question I've asked a lot. I don't usually deal with those cases. Probably you can, but I got to see what kind of parole they issued you on the paperwork. Dear Ms. She said, how long is the wait time for an appointment in Juarez? Husband's case just closed. Between 9 months and 2 years. Blue Moon says, okay. I have to sift through all these questions, repeats, or people asking about timelines. I don't do deportation removal law, so I don't want to answer questions about that. How long does it take to get a receipt if I did my green card renewal after having 10 plus? The receipt really should come a week or two later, but recently, USCIS has been taking a while to send receipts or not sending them, so it's annoying. Felicia says, thank you. Someone suggested to use Rapid Visa. I want to apply for my fiance. It takes 18 months. There's no up to. There's no top side on immigration. I don't recommend using Rapid Visa, frankly, but essentially they're my competitor, so take it as you will. It depends on how much money you got, frankly. If you got the money, get a real person that cares about you and could talk with you. It's not just like, a big machine. That's how we operate. It's all about being quick and quality and caring about you. So a person you just a lawyer get a hold of, and frankly, like they do volume. These companies, they want thousands of cases. I don't want thousands of cases. I want one case here, one case there, so that I can know you. And people who like contact us, read our reviews. Go to Google, type in JQK Law Firm. Read our reviews about it's all about the relationship. Plus, what's really important is when you do your marriage immigration cases, green card cases, these websites, and a lot of law firms, frankly, but they just do a part of your case and then get rid of you and never want to know you. My goal is that we know each other and have emails back and forth the next 10 or 15 years. So when you have kids, you send pictures of your kids, and you're part of my newsletter. When I have more kids, God willing, then I'll send you pictures of them too. And 20 years from now, when your brother comes and gets his green card, you ask me questions. That's the kind of relationship we want. So it's not for everybody. And obviously it costs more, but that's what it's all about to me. It is what it is. Okay, so Haifa says, we answer that question. Dude, does my husband and I have to share a bank account, apply for citizenship? For citizenship, doesn't matter. I think if you made a green card, it's better you do, but if you don't, there's other ways to join a relationship. It's not mandatory. How long does it take for a green card holder to bring their under 21 kids to the U.S. from Afghanistan? It's going to take many years. Probably take 4 or 5 years if you're lucky. Kieran says, how can you tell me about the EB1A? I'm in a state in F1. I'm a national athletic player. I have good records. So we just went into detail, Kieran, about the EB1A. So I can't get into that again because I have a 60 question backlog right now. But Kieran, my YouTube page, I have videos on the EB1A breaking it down. But send your resume to us, jqqlaw.com/contact, or email it's info@jqlaw. Send us information, resume, so we can take a look at your background. Thank you so much. So generally asking about how long it takes for a fiancé visa. So the first part of a fiancé visa is from I-129F to prove the relationship is real. That's taking 9 to 15 months to do on average. Once that's approved, we got to get an embassy interview scheduled. And it depends on how long it takes for the embassy. Some embassies will schedule an appointment in 2 or 3 months. Some, like if you're in Iran, it's going to take a year and a half. Or if you're for Turkey or for Abu Dhabi, it's going to take 2 years. So when the people say how long this takes, it's not consistent. And then once you enter the United States, you get married, file for the green card. I have one fiancé visa adjustment status green card case that was approved 2 months after they entered and got married. And then another one's, it's like 8 months now pending. So how long does it take? I don't know. It could be a year and a half. It could be 3 years or 4 years. So you get the green card. It's all over the place. So it really depends on your case, your background, your embassy, all these different factors, which city you live in once you come to the United States. Neve says, thank you I'm from Israel. Hey, Neve, I was talking with an immigration lawyer in Israel this morning. Her name was Morgan Naraya, I think it was. I talk with immigration lawyers every day from across the country. Other than practicing immigration law, I have a trade program where you help train immigration lawyers and promote them and all this kind of stuff. And I was talking with an immigration lawyer from Israel this morning. So we have a lot of immigration lawyers in Israel that I've connected with because they listen to my podcasts and stuff like that. You're welcome, Umar. It's Abidior. Hello, how long does it take to get my receipt? Okay, bet with my husband. A lot of repeat questions. Hey, JQK, what can I do if I don't receive a receipt of notice adjustment status in 50 days? So, Banji, this is a hair-pulling, annoying thing that's happening recently where USCIS for the last couple of months is not sending receipts. So ideally, you have your receipt number at the very least. We're having the situation too where they're not sending us the adjustment status receipts, but we get the biometrics. So it's there. Plus, we submit a form called G1145 with the application, so we get the receipt numbers. It's really hard. Call them up, but it's really hard to get receipt notices from them. The key is if you have your receipt numbers, it doesn't really matter. And you could go online and check stuff out, but call them up. Unfortunately, this is a major problem. And I'm talking with a lot of other immigration attorneys to get more examples to tell the government. They say, hey, you guys are messing up. We need to get receipts. For adjustment of status, it's not that bad. But if you're doing removal of conditions from I-751, you really need that receipt. And you don't get it, it's a disaster. How long is the wait time for Riyadh Saudi? I haven't done a Saudi case. So I don't know how long they're processing. Abdullah, good evening. Married to U.S. citizen. It's been 17 months almost. Can I sue or is it too early? It's too early. Hi, I have DACA right now. I'm planning. This is Maystone. I'm planning to marry soon. Should I start my application for green card? It depends. Did you have lawful entry or not? We don't. That's going to be a big factor. Do you have DACA AP or not? So download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com, and then set up a time to talk with us after that. But we handle every month we file a DACA adjustment status case. So schedule a consult so we can look over the whole thing over. Case Smooth says, got a green card through asylum situation, home country change. Can I visit? I mean, I already answered that question essentially. Leop says, I applied for DACA back in December 2022. Applicant got processed, got fingers, but no news. You can't apply for new DACA in 2022. So if it was an extension of it, then okay, that's extension. You should call them up. It's taking too long to get a DACA extensions usually take a couple months, really. But if you're a first-time DACA filer, they don't approve those. So it's just going to stall. Is the I-485 processing time in case normally accurate? No. Almost none of the timelines that the government will give you will be accurate. Gar says, F3 family petition. How much time for 211 filed petition? Check out the visa bulletin in your category. That'll give you the answer there. Oh, we forgot about checking YouTube. Sorry about that. I said everyone go to YouTube, and I forgot to check it. Sam provide out. Noor says, my son's a U.S. citizen. Can he apply for immigration for his sister? Is 11. How long will it take? It's going to take 15 years probably. Sorry, Noor. It's going to take forever. Probably one way to happen. It's going to take forever now too, but file for your citizen green card. And once you have your green card, you turn around and apply for your daughter. But that's going to be 2 years, 3 years here, and then 5 years there. It's a mess. I know some people say you can apply for humanitarian parole for your daughter to come here and wait it out. I've never had success with that, but they say that's something to do. Chop says, so I did my marriage-based green card interview 5 months now, no response. What's the meaning? Maybe they're doing an investigation, or maybe they just lost your file. Maybe they're just being lazy. Neve says, any real difference between I-551 stamp to I-551 card? Yeah, I-551 card is a green card. You want to have that, but the stamp is a holdover if you need it. Love says, I have questions, sir. Go ahead and ask. How long does it take to approve for parent application for U.S. citizen? Well, is your U.S. citizen parent in the U.S. or outside? If they're in the United States, 3-4 months is to a year. If they're outside, 2+ years. Thomas says, PhD from top school with multiple good papers till 2021, working, so haven't written Indian EB1A green card. I don't know. EB2C probably. That has a backlog, as you know. EB1A has different standards. You got to match. Having published paper is just one of the 10. You need them 3 of them and general establishment. So, Tarun, I got to see your whole CV and email it to us, info@jqqlaw.com, info@jqqlaw.com. When is the right time to apply for 10-year green card for getting a 2-year? 90 days window before your 2 years is going to expire. Can I get dual citizenship if I get a green card in the U.S.? You could apply for a U.S. citizenship eventually once you got a green card. Whether you get dual citizenship, it depends on your home country passport if they allow it. Hey, Kumali. Felicia, do you practice nationwide, just California? We practice globally. We're global immigration lawyers. So immigration law, the stuff that we do, our location does not matter at all. Everything we do is by mail, email, phoning stuff. That's it. It's all digital. So our location does not matter. So I never say, oh, I'm in Los Angeles, which I am, because none of the work that I do, that location matters. It's really cool. I get to travel the world and be an immigration lawyer. Is it true filing for adjustment status spouse? Is it true about filing adjustment status for spouse or green card holders? I'm not sure what is true or not. I mean, it's that possible. The rules got updated this month, so you could do it better, but it's a little complicated. I've explained it in several videos, and people still say they don't understand it. So I really got to review your case, but it's potentially there's this changes that happen. If you're married to a green card holder doing adjustment of status, there are changes that happen that can help you. Nurok says, thank you, sir. You're welcome. Let's check out Instagram really quick. Hama says, which universities offer LLM cheap costs for international students? I don't keep track of university costs, so I have no idea. Nabi says, could a spouse waiting for USCIS approval F2A apply for tourist visa to go to U.S.? She's abroad. How is the chance to get a tourist visa? The chances are low. Generally, like immigration lawyers will say it's almost impossible, but I've seen people get it approved and it worked. So you give it a shot if you want and see what happens. Just fill out the forms properly. That's the main thing. Abi says, can I apply without baby invite? Change COS since I don't be a family. I'm not sure your question doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on there. You don't need an invitation to come to the United States. You just file for a tourist visa. Saki, one of our originals says, hi, sir, I-485 pending up to 2 years. How many chances USCIS approved, no issue RFE? it's like, I have no idea. Like, that's not a question I can answer. Joku says, have an interview this month. What are the questions? I don't know what kind of interview you have. I don't know anything about your background. If you have a marriage case, you're thinking about the marriage immigration questions, download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. But I don't know, every case has certain things you're looking at, and really your background. I got to review your history of where you've lived, your marriage history, your police history, if anything, your documents, your birth certificates. I got to see what's going on before I can answer that. So if you're worried about what question about your relationship you're going to ask, download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. And at the end of it, there's like 3 pages of sample questions. But those are like 20%, 30% of that. Mostly they're looking at your background. And so I don't know what your background is to be able to answer that question. Chapa says, so I did my marriage-based green card 5 months ago. Answer that question already. What are the timelines for I-765 approval? That's a work permit, 2 months to 10 months. Kumal says, if I will come to U.S. on visitor visa, can I change my status? You can't come to the U.S. with the intent to change status on a tourist visa. Blueberry says, is the Biden law in effect for approve unlawful waivers from Mexico? It's not in effect yet, but it could help a lot of those people in this situation. Star says, what if spouse is Army Ranger school during interview for green card? He couldn't make it. Typically, they just waive the requirement that your spouse be there for active duty. One time, someone on a live show said they still held the case of the spouse came back from military deployment, but I've never seen that in my cases. You're welcome, Jaquid. For the others tuning in, if you're doing marriage cases, download a guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I'm going to make a video about that spouse thing again. I actually have a video on it right now. User 5 says, can I apply for U.S. citizenship this year if I stayed out for more than 9 months? Most likely they'll deny your case unless you have connections to the U.S. or you get lucky. You can't be outside more than 6 months in the last 5 years or 3 years, depending on what kind of case you have. Belly says, thank you. I sent my questions too many times so you can see it. Thank you for answering. You're welcome. I hope I got it. See, I think you guys, okay, I got it. Yeah. Okay. So Lee says, what's the easiest way to bring my husband that's in Costa Rica, U.S. citizen? Ain't no easy ways. If your husband was visiting and you decided to stay, you can file for adjustment status. You can't come with the intent to do that. Or you do the long way, which is consular processing. Going to take like 2 years. Sophia says, what's the difference between an M1 visa or J1? One of them, you have to return back to your home country for 2 years. So M1 visa is for vocational school, like if you're doing flight training or something like that. A J1 visa is wide-ranging kind of visa. It could be for research, medical studies, summer, you're teaching, a lifeguard for a summer. Some J1 visas have a requirement that you take what you learn in the United States and you go back for 2 years to your home country to share that information before you can get a green card or apply for certain visas like the H-1B or the L-1. It gets very technical, so these are things you got best schedule consultation. Chrissy, I'm in the U.S. and my son wants me to stay. He's an American citizen. Can I open a bank account for 9 days? You can open a bank account immediately. Open a bank account does not matter for U.S. immigration. The bigger question about it is, can you file for green card? Probably, but I got to review your case. It's probably possible, just like this marriage case. Schedule a consultation. Go to our website, jqqlaw.com/contact, jqqlaw.com/contact, and we'll have consults about it. I'm talking fast and yelling, even though the mic's right here next to my face. I get excited, and there's no one in front of me talking, so I feel like I'm yelling for everyone to hear. I got to calm it down. People are like talking way too loud, but it burns my throat. How long has it been today's show? It's Sunday, and the family's out, so I get to talk a lot today. 38 minutes. We'll keep it going. A Catter says, are Stoke interviews only for married couples, and are interviews with children done with the parents? If children should be with parents, it's inappropriate for the child to be alone. Stokes interviews are intended for marriage cases. They're questioning the marriage, so that's that. I mean, they could do whatever they want. They can have for any kind of visa, but that's typically what it would be. T. Margaret says, I'm married to a green card holder. Can I adjust status in my current visa bulletin? It depends on what your priority date is. Download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. I did a detailed video about the new adjustment of status filing for green card holder spouse cases, doing adjustment of status. Very technical. It's on YouTube. It's like 5 minutes. I'll break it down. Lee's son and Ryan, I'm a U.S. citizen. Can I apply for my sister and mom for a visitor visa? You don't apply for anything. They individually could apply for their own visas. Nadia says, can overstay visa get forgiveness? Depends on what kind of case you have and what your background is, all that. Mao says, I have DACA. I got DUI weeks ago, married to U.S. citizen. Can I still get a green card with them? It's not impossible, but on discretion, they could get you on that. On discretion, they cannot renew your DACA too. And we need to see if you enter lawfully. So there's a lot to look at. Schedule consultation info on jqqlaw.com/contact, jqqlaw.com/contact. Okay. Mon says, sir, parole for 1 year. Apply for asylum now, but I want to adjust status. I don't know. I got to see your individual case. Jay says, hi, hey, so my work permit has been sent to the wrong address twice. What do I do? Contact USCIS, see what's going on, what address they have on file. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Hi, JK, what can I do? Okay, stop asking, please, everyone. Stop asking repeat questions. Jesse, go therefore, LO if you know them. I'm not sure what that's about. No, I'm here on vacation. My wife is saying I can stay once we file for green card. Is that true? If you have a proper case, that's possible, but I'm not sure if you have a proper case or not. Raja says, sir, what's the procedure to apply for work in Canada? I don't know. This is a U.S. immigration talk. Precious, what are timelines? I don't know. I-485 approved. Marriage-based, congrats. I hated her. Congrats. Sharon, my case has been actively reviewed for 2 months after I filed 2 years ago. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know your case. Ahmad says, a U.S. citizen, how long will he seek care to evacuate from Qatar? I don't know. I don't know about all that stuff. Can a green card holder request expedite for her kids? It's always anyone can request an expedite, whether this gets approved or not. Who knows? What is the wait time for U.S. tests? I don't know. So USCIS requested medical in the mail. Is that a good or bad thing? They're moving your case along, so it's generally a good thing, but that's it. Lisa, what's the fastest way to Costa Rica? I already answered that question. Schedule a consult too. Download the guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. Chrissy says, sir, my phone cut off. I didn't hear your answer. Chrissy, I said that the bank account you could open up immediately. That doesn't matter. But with regard to filing for a green card, that's a more complicated scenario. Probably it's possible, but please schedule a consultation. Go to jqqlaw.com/contact and so we schedule a time and get to that. Anaya says, hi, sir. What is the current I-130 approval for a U.S. citizen, spouse, or Jamaica? If you're talking about through the embassy system, it's gotten faster than it used to be. Probably going to take 2 years, but it depends on what's going on. If you're in the United States doing adjustment of status and you have the proper thing, it could be 3 months or 3 to 10 months, really average. Lobby says, hi, sir. I applied for green card. Estimate timeline, what does it mean? It means nothing. The estimate timeline is all incorrect. You're welcome, Chrissy. Sunshine, I heard Mexican citizens can walk, drive across the border and be welcome in the U.S. I don't know about that. This Yule says, what is the earliest? I don't do SIGIS, so I can't talk about SIJS cases. Mina Yakmore says, we submitted our documents June 3rd and we have not received a receipt. Yeah, it's a problem. The receipts numbers are not being sent, so I'm not sure what. You got to contact USCIS, try to figure it out if you don't have a lawyer. Monter, hey, Monter, good to see you. Hi, John. Does my physical present reset when I'm outside for U.S. for 2 years on a reentry permit, but visiting every often for a few days, every couple months? Yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be a reset if you're out that long. Just when you come back, wait 4 years and 6 months plus 1 day. That's a rule I made up, but I'd go by that, especially if Trump's coming back. The rule you'll find is 4 years and 1 day. But if you're married to U.S. citizens, half that. Good to see you looking sharp. Thank you. I appreciate that, Monter. Good to see you. Is it Munther or Munther? Is that like a German name, Munther or Munther? Let me know. Jenna, mistaken my son's father info on birth certificate. I'm trying to get a green card. Will that be a problem? It could be, depending on stuff, and it could be problems later on. Maybe not. I gotta see what you're doing, and it could be a problem with the father, especially. But I can't say if something's a problem without seeing the document myself. I can't just make things up. JC says, if we do I-751 without a lawyer, would a lawyer attend the combo interview if no one hired them for citizenship? It's possible. A lot of lawyers don't like doing that, myself included, because the people at the government are going to think we submitted the case, and most of the time when people submit a case on their own, it's a mess. So like it makes us look bad. But on a case-by-case basis, it's possible. And some lawyers do it. It's easy money. But reputation management is another thing. So it's not impossible, JC. Morrow says, waiting for the interview as U.S. citizen, documents are qualified, July 2020, Islamabad. Yeah, they're backed up, but probably a couple months from now. How can I bring my spouse from Pakistan? I'm a green card holder. You're going to have to wait forever, essentially. You got to download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. We have a lot of Pakistani cases. As the previous question from Morrow says, Islamabad Embassy. Yeah, you'll be waiting. You'll be waiting a couple years. A-Care says, do they interview adult stepchildren separate from their sponsor parent? Adult children don't need... No, it depends on the officer you're dealing with. Some will say parents stay outside. Some will say parent, you have to come inside. It depends on the officer, how they want to do it. For a green card holder sponsoring a spouse from abroad, what is the duration of approval? There's no duration of approval. Essentially, once the visa is approved, you have 3 to 6 months, depending on if your medical background. It gets complicated. I'm not sure what you mean duration of approval. Jakub says, if Trump comes back and bans some countries, would it affect citizen petitioning for spouse? Yeah, unfortunately, it would. It did last time. We got to see how the language of it looks. So, any ban could have any specifics to it, but they could say there's an exception for U.S. citizen spouse, for example. But last time around, nope, that was bad. I applied for green card 2 months ago. Estimated timeline 2 months. Good luck on that. I don't see that happening. How can I contact you? jqqlaw.com/contact. jqqlaw.com/contact. That's the best way to contact. My date of birth, my receipt notice is wrong. What do I do, please? On uscis.gov, there's an option for correcting typographic errors. Go and fix it there. Okay. Let's see. How long do you wait after you file I-45? It varies. Can I still withdraw I-751 after my spouse filed for citizenship? If it's still pending, yeah, you can contact them. I mean, they still have a case, but it gets complicated for them. But if you want to withdraw, you withdraw. User 404 says, can a green card holder answer that? Is this lawful entry? How can gain lawful entry after trying all the process and getting denied? I mean, you got to get lawful entry, admission, or parole. I don't know what to tell you. Get a visa or get special parole. How can you apply for your green card holder for a green card for spouse? If I have a green card, he's here with a visa A2. A2, I think, is a diplomat visa. Download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. You start with an I-130, then you file adjustment of status. They need to do a waiver of the diplomatic immunity. It's a separate form that a lot of people don't know about. But yeah, download our guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. The schedule consult. We do these cases regularly. Ahmed says, how long does CARE to? I don't know about this CARE Act stuff. Nigel says, I have made 5 requests for my I-751, but no reply. Money order didn't cash. What to do? 1 year. I don't know. Maybe refile it. If it hasn't been cashed, get your money back. Refile. 1 year late filing is dangerous for that one because they can send you to immigration court. Melo says, what is the percentage being approved as a tourist wedding invitation? There's no percentages. It's just whatever happens from there. Love says, JQK, please, my date of birth is wrong. Answer that question in detail already. How long is I-130 taking out of California? Marriage U.S. citizen, 12 months average. It doesn't matter location anyways nowadays. What is your cost for consulting? Depends on what kind of case you have, between $250 to $325. Email us or just go to jqqlaw.com/contact. Let me know what kind of case you have, and I'll fill you in there. If you explain your situation, I might have a quick answer for something too, free, but it depends on what the facts are, how long it takes me to answer something. Shariar says, sir, how much time is Islamabad taking for interview after DQ? Depends on what kind of case you have. If you have a marriage case, parent U.S. citizen case, 1 to 2 years, but it goes up and down. It's all over the place. Poke Corey says, will there be a problem when applying for a green card if you don't live with your spouse yet? Yeah, that could be a problem. They could deny your case for that, unless you have a good reason for it. We have it where there's good reasons, but if they don't sense a good reason, it's a problem. Is it faster to get a tourist visa when I invited my sister-in-law to our wedding? No, you got the invitations don't matter. They apply and they may get it or may not, and speeds vary. Okay. I don't. If you have questions about timelines, faster, this and that, I can't. There's too many good questions out there. Timelines, who knows? So I'm gonna skip those. Okay, Munter says. Okay, let me back up. JC answered that. Ikedar Yaku Munter. Okay, pronouncing the O Munter, but the th is pronounced like the word the Munther. Munther. Oh, dang, Munther. Is that German? Munther. Okay. HA, can you deny it? I guess remember to say Munther. Okay. HA, can it deny change of status from 10-year tourist visa multiple entry to F1 hurt my approved sibling petition soon to be current? Yeah, because you're accumulating unlawful presence days right now, so it's problematic for sure. A cater for a minor stepchild. Does his father need to attend, or a stepmom? Whoever the petitioner is should probably try to attend. Right on, it's Arabic. Munter. Oh, it's Arabic. Okay. How do you write it in Arabic script so I can read it like that? I could read Arabic script. Okay. Kathy says, hi, what's the difference between 2 charts of visa bulletin? That's a long explanation. I have detailed videos on YouTube about that. That's that. Jenna says, can my petition be denied due to a mistake on my son's? Probably not, but I got to see what's going on. All right. Is it fast? So his question about timelines, fastest and that, I can't answer that. But if you're doing a marriage or fiance case, down the guide, marriageimmigrationlaw.com. So it's Manzar. Montar. See, I read version, so the Zol, you guys pronounce it differently, but I wouldn't think it's Montar, like Abu Dhabi kind of thing. Montar. Okay. Sorry, going on tangents, but Montar. What do I do if my parents coming up complete his 10-year ban? You start the case. You should start sooner because it's going to take a bit. Yeah, so Farsi we say manzar probably, but you guys say mandar. Kind of a rare name. My name is taking over the Q&A, although it's okay. Brian says, can I apply for citizenship? I said it was being processed. Not impossible. We're getting a lot of repeats of questions I already answered. Please stop doing that. Mello, you're out of here. Mute on Mello. Okay. Sorry, Mello. You asked the same question a gazillion times, and it caused me not to answer other people's questions, so we got to cut you out. Everyone should be cheering the audience. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean about it, but you're just ruining the vibe. Have you heard of immigration directly calling the sponsor to confirm the relationship? They do some crazy stuff sometimes, not typically though. JC, my wife owned a nail salon in India and wants to open one in the US, but doesn't think she can without her manager. Can she do an L visa? Probably not for a small shop like that. L visa is not safe for big companies, but they're going to hassle you if you're a small company. You don't have a bunch of employees. There's a couple of employees. Mondar says, John just made my day with all this. I'll always be lurking around Q&As. Keep up good. So thank you, Mondar. I think I'm saying it right, Mondar. Arabic. I learned how to speak Arabic accent when I was a kid in Quran classes, but I forgot. It's more like singing it. So if I sang it, I could say it right, but talking wise, I can't do that. What's the difference between the two? I already answered that, which is it's too long to answer. Bangladesh case, how long does it take? I don't know. I'm a permanent resident. Can I change my daughter's consular processing to adjust the status of U.S. now? Yeah, that's possible. Schedule consultation, Miss Independent. jqqlaw.com/contact. Amy says, any idea how long visa interview in DACA? I don't. How long is I-9 taking? I don't know. I've been waiting 4 months to visa. Have you ever? So we're getting a lot of timeline questions right now, so I'm skipping them. So, can you explain how the priority date works? It's a long explanation. Sorry, I'm too tired. We're in the show for an hour now. But there's a bunch of videos on YouTube about how priority dates work. Shani says, so if you're asking questions about timelines, I'm skipping your questions. Please don't ask them again. Miss Independent, to answer that question, have you ever heard of immigration? Okay, we can just repeats over and over again. All right, so many repeats. I'm going to shut off TikTok pretty quick. Hospital made a mistake in my son's father info. Doesn't necessarily mean your green card's getting denied, but it's going to maybe confuse stuff. Mondar says, I answered that question. Okay, thank you, Mondar. Let's go to Instagram. Islamabad MC, who knows? Should I upload my FRC now as my birth certificate? We already talked about that, Sherry, last time on the show. I can't give individual legal guidance here. And I explained it pretty thoroughly, and you asked the same question over again, so I'd probably best have a private consultation at this point. Okay, so a lot of repeat questions. Okay, I got to go. Family's back. All right, everybody. God bless. Be safe. I'll see you all Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific for our regular time. Bye-bye.